Oh, it's a sad day. Sad day. Another member of the Boston Celtics championship team from just a year ago has left for a new team. He's joining the San Antonio Spurs on a 4-year, $41 million deal, and that's Luke Kornet. The Celtics have now lost Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luke over the last week or so, and it's just looking bad, looking real bad. Al Horford could be on his way out. A few days ago, Adam Himmelsbach reported that Horford was taking time to mull his options and not to really expect a decision on the opening day of free agency. As we saw, that decision didn't come, so Himmelsbach was right on the money. There's a chance that Horford could still decide to stay, but it's looking weaker and weaker by the day. I'm your boy, Adam Taylor. Welcome to the Taylor Talk Celtics show, hosted by the Celtics Chronicle newsletter. Welcome into my homie, compadre, co-host of crime, Mr. Billy Calabrese. What's popping, Billy?
The tank is on.
It's looking so ugly. It's making me so sad.
And we knew it could get, we're going to know like immediately what Brad's move, what was it was going to be, what his plan was, and letting these guys go. Obviously, God bless Luke Kornet, $41 million, about an average of $10 million a year for a guy that was hanging on by a thread in the NBA, and we developed him and turned him into one of the best backup bigs in the league. It is a beautiful thing watching him get paid. It is so freaking cool, and he's going to go play with Wemby. Like, it's going to be awesome. I'm very happy for Luke Kornet. No hard feelings there. It would be malpractice if we paid him that money, but San Antonio has a wide open piggy bank that let him go get it.
The Celtics, the way I'm looking at it is, it looks good on a franchise when you can take a guy that's hanging by a thread and then develop into somebody that gets paid. Other players are going to be more willing to sign with you now because they feel like they can raise their value and get paid later down the line. So from that standpoint, that's a good thing. Losing Luke is tough, though, just because of the talent drain that's happening on this team right now. Now, look, the Celtics did sign Luka Garza for, I think it was 2 years, $5.5 million. I'm pretty low on that deal. I think that he's going to give you some stuff on offense. He looks good offensively, but he doesn't really give you much defensively. He only played 35 games for the Timberwolves last season. And now there's a chance you could be looking at him and Nimi fighting for the starting spot at the 5. And I'm not high on either of those guys as a starting level big man in the NBA. The talent drain has been real. We've spoke about this before we come on air. Like, the center rotation itself, if Horford doesn't come back, is abysmal. You've got Garza, you've got Nimi, and you've got Tillman. And then your 4 rotation is it's George Niang. That's it. And maybe you can plug Hauser in there if you need to. The front court itself just looks rough. Now, the Celtics, according to Keith Smith, are $2 million below the second apron now they've signed Garza. Okay, so realistically, any moves that happen now will come via trade rather than via the free agency market. It's worth noting that the Celtics do have a $25 million trade with player exception from that Kristaps Porzingis deal. That makes them a little bit more viable in trade discussions. But as things stand, I think you've got to tip your hat to Luke. He was such an important part of that the 2020 last season, 24-25 season, and he played a role during the championship run as well. He's earned that. But from a Celtics perspective, a team that was supposed to be bordering on a dynasty, and then now we're here and wondering how the hell they're going to put out a competitive front court within the roster next season. Man, it's so tough to swallow.
I mean, maybe it's hubris, but I do think that Brad knows that he can find the next Luke Kornet. And I don't know if it's Luka Garza. Luka Garza's had a very strange career. I'm a big Big Ten basketball fan. That's like one of the only parts of college basketball I like is the Big Ten. And this dude absolutely dominated the Big Ten at Iowa. And then he went to the G League, absolutely dominated the G League. And then whenever he comes up to the NBA, he just sucks donkey balls. Like, he is absolutely terrible in the NBA. We're talking about like averages of like 2 and 3, if that. So like, he has completely been useless in the NBA. He's basically in his prime right now. He's about 26 years old. If he's ever going to be anything, it's now. But it's a weird thing. Like, we kind of had Kornet was probably in a worse situation when we signed Kornet than Garza is right now. And we turned Kornet into somebody that's making over $10 million a year. So if it is going to happen, might be with Garza. I'm higher on Garza than Keita, honestly, because I see the basketball pedigree.
So the thing with me is, when you turn Kornet into the player he is now, you did it in a low pressure role off the bench. You did it as the 4th big, and then he got into a battle to become the third big, the backup big, obviously because the Celtics like to play two bigs at times. He didn't have the expectations of being a starting level 5 to begin with, and that gave him room to grow, room to kind of figure out how he fit into this system. Garza's not going to have that because there is no starting 5, so there's going to be a fight there for who gets that starting spot, and it could look ugly. And whenever a guy dominates in the G League and then doesn't do much in the NBA, I usually think of them as like a tweener, somebody that's too good for the G League, but just not quite NBA ready yet, and maybe never will be. Maybe there's just that cap on his ceiling. It's the same reason I'm not high on JD Davison, because he dominates in the G League, comes up to the NBA, and everything just kind of falls apart. And you can say that he hasn't been given the chance or the role isn't there, but even in the minutes he does get, even against other garbage time guys, he just looks average. Whereas if he goes down to the G League, he looks like Superman. And the same can be said for Garza. That makes it really tough to then be like, oh, well, we need to kind of just throw our support and belief behind what this team are doing, because Brad, so far, and I'm going to hold my hands up here, Brad has never put a foot wrong. Everything he's touched has turned to gold up until this point. But now they're in a position where everything they're doing wasn't planned for. This is very reactionary from what happened to Jason Tatum with the Achilles tear. And now everything kind of starts to unravel. You have to make moves to get below the second apron. We don't know if there's a mandate from the new ownership group there. Like, there's a lot of unknowns from our side. But when you look at the way this current team looks right now, and it's a Jaylen Brown-led offense with Derek White, Peyton Pritchard as like your big three, and no front court help whatsoever, it's really tough to stomach in terms of, without making some moves in the trade market, losing Luke Kornet could actually be more of a hammer blow than many of us thought it would be. And I get that people are going to say we're overrating a guy, we're overrating a role-playing big man, but it's the lack of talent that's already on the roster that makes his departure feel like it's so important, like it's such a pivotal moment.
See, this is where I kind of like, I know everybody online is like already got out the tiki torches, but I'm really respecting the balls on Brad, because for him to do this just shows how confident he is in his position, where, hey, Tatum's out. We don't have a freaking chance. We're not going to just, put lipstick on a pig and just put a team out there that's quote unquote competitive. And it ends up like what the Miami Heat are every year. Like, oh yeah, they got a chance, be a playing team, be this, be that, like give everybody false hope. No, he's telling you with these moves, we're going to be absolute dog shit, guys. Like, we're talking lottery. We're looking at AJ. We're looking at Cam Boozer. We're looking at these guys that are at the top of the draft next year. And that's going to be what we're going to be looking forward to, because it ain't going to be wins.
But that's the problem for me, right? Like, I'm completely on board. If that's the route you want to go, then okay, let's go. We'll follow. Let's go that route. But why do that when you've got Jaylen Brown leading the charge? You know what I mean? And I understand that, hey, this is a 1-year tank and then Tatum comes back and everything changes. But as I said to you before we came on air, if that's the case, why are you chasing a rookie anyway? Because when has a rookie ever came in and been a vital contributor on a championship run? LeBron didn't do that in his first year, didn't do it in his second year. And there's a chance that you land someone and they just slot perfectly. I get that. But if you're going to be tanking and you want the best chance at actually getting one of these high picks, having Jaylen Brown on the roster is actually a negative to what you're trying to achieve there, because you're trying to be bad. And Brown's good enough that he's going to keep you just above good enough to not be a bottom out top 5 lottery team. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do, but is there any evidence of that? I don't think Jaylen Brown by himself makes you an above average team.
I mean, for the money you're paying him, he should at least make you an average team. That's the point. Otherwise, that contract starts to look a lot worse, and a lot more questions start to get asked to JB then. So it's actually a negative. You lose by keeping him or losing him. There's no win here.
Yeah, because he might be the secret stealth tanking option, but it also just completely destroys his value, which they might be okay with. They might be like, hey, we're keeping this guy to be next to Tatum anyway. We don't care if he looks like crap as the number one. We're losing games. He probably won't play back-to-backs. You probably will shut him down in March if the season's going the way we kind of expect it to go. So, oh man, it's pretty bleak to talk about and say out loud, but kind of the situation we're in.
And like, don't get me wrong, rebuilding teams are fun. So there's going to be a time in a year or so where there's a new rookie. Hopefully Hugo's popped, so we're all feeling super excited about what Hugo can bring. And we've got Baylor that's probably showing some Jason Williams style passing, and we're excited there. There's going to be reasons to be excited, and there's going to be reasons to keep tuning into these games and be behind this team. But right now, where we're sitting on July 1st, after Luke Kornet's gone, with the Golden State Warriors letting Looney walk, and they're rumored to have interest in Horford that could potentially move to the Bay Area for a year. There's a lot of reasons to sit here today and be like, man, this fucking sucks. And I think if you feel that way, then you're completely vindicated, because I feel that way. But at the same time, I also know that you're not going to win this year. So what do we want from this team? Do we want them to chase a draft pick in one of the most loaded drafts in recent memory? Or do we want them to remain competitive and just give us a fun season that we can remember? Like, if you think back to the Brad era, the teams that weren't meant to win, but then made pushes for the conference finals and stuff, those were the teams we fell in love with. And
The overachievers. Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people were hoping for this year, was like, hey, Brad's going to make just enough moves to put you in a position to overachieve. And now it's like, hey, he's made those moves, but there's not enough depth at two very important positions for this team to have a chance at overachieving. It's going to be a rough watch.
Yeah, I don't see any overachieving with this group unless something drastic happens in the next few weeks. One thing I do want to call out is all these fans that are actually turning on Al Horford for some reason, for him wanting to spend one of his last seasons on a team that's actually trying to win something. Al Horford doesn't owe us a goddamn thing. This dude is the first all-star free agent in the history of our franchise. He came to us when nobody was coming here, and he set a tone, and he just lived what Celtic basketball is for the past few years, not to mention taking pay cut after pay cut when he could have made way more money going other places these last couple of years, but made sure that we got our championship. So anybody criticizing Al right now, I mean, you can go F yourself.
I mean, that's fair, because I'm right there with you. I think that it's the same with Luke. I see a lot of people, like, the minute a player leaves the Celtics, then that player weren't shit. Well, you were cheering for him a week ago. You were online saying how much you hope he stayed a week ago. The receipts are on your account. So to be like, oh, Luke went, well, Luke's ass anyway. Garza's the next best thing. Oh, Horford's leaving. Well, screw Horford. No, Horford has been key for years. He's played such a pivotal role in the development of Jason and Jaylen. He was, as you said, took multiple pay cuts, was a key part of a championship team. He's cemented himself in Boston legacy. If he leaves now, fair. That's the way it is. I mean, we did a live stream yesterday for the first hour of free agency. I was joined by Tim Shields, and we were talking about what it would take for Horford to leave, like what that would mean for him from a personal standpoint. Because if you think about the way his family's settled, the way his kids are in school, the most logical move there is his family stays behind while he goes to Golden State for a year. So if he does choose that, then winning clearly means a lot to him, and he clearly wants one more shot at this, because he's moving away from his family for 12 months and he's been with them all the way through his tenure in Boston. That to me shows you how much he's committed to one, the city of Boston, but two, to winning. And if he doesn't feel like he's got an opportunity here and it's going to be a waste of arguably the final year of his career, let him go to Golden State. If he decides he wants to play another year after, maybe he comes back in free agency on a veteran minimum next season. That's probably best case scenario from the Celtics standpoint. But yeah, you can't be hating on him for just wanting to go and compete. That's bullshit to me.
No, well, he doesn't owe us a thing. And like I said, why would you want to play on this team? Look at this roster. Like, it's absolute dog shit. And it's funny because everybody talks about like how, Tatum and Brown, oh, who's better? Who's this? Who's that? I guarantee you, if it was Brown that was out and Tatum was the one playing next year, Al would be signed up to stay. He'd be back here in 1 second. It just shows you the gap between those two players. And this is not a knock on Jaylen. He's a number 2, though. And I really think that people are going to finally accept that. The gap between him and Tatum is the Grand Canyon. It isn't close. It isn't a toss-up. It ain't 1A and 1B.
No, it's 1 and then ... 2. And I get that people are like, well, Brown won finals MVP. I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't. If Brown was the one out, the Celtics don't blow it up the way they've just blew it up. They run it back.
That's the proof right there. Brad would not blow this team up if Tatum was healthy.
Top 5 guy versus a top 20 guy. That's the gap. That's the chasm. And if you don't understand the talent jump from 20 to 10, and then the talent jump again from 10 to 5. Well, I can't help you there. And if you don't see Tatum as top 5, he's definitely top 7. And again, there's a talent jump between top 10 to top 7. So, yeah, I mean, look, this is going to be a rough year. As constructed, things can change quickly. Brad can pull some out of his ass today, tomorrow, next week, a month from now that changes everything. And all of a sudden, we're super excited for what's to come. But as things stand right now, it's going to be rough. It's going to, and it don't feel good. It really does not feel good. We've been spoiled lately for elite Celtics basketball, and we've been spoiled for being able to be super proud of the team that's on the floor. Now, I've got a lot of questions of how the team's going to play, how Joe Mazzulla's going to handle being with a roster that isn't superstar studded. I've got questions on who's going to be the starting 5, who's going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. There's a lot going on that we can break down over the coming weeks. But as things stand right now, Luke Kornet leaving on its own isn't a hammer blow. But when coupled with everything else that's going on, and with Jrue and with KP, that was a real big bat to the face.
It was. And it's just, like I said, you don't appreciate something till it's gone sometimes. But that 2024 Celtics team was so special. And I think a lot of fans are going to realize just how good we freaking had it.
And with that, I'm going to leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be happier. We'll find reasons to be happy. But right now, we're in our feelings. You're probably in your feelings. If you're not in your feelings, I get it. If you are in your feelings, join the club. With that, make sure you subscribe to the Celtics Chronicle newsletter. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'll see you soon. Billy, where can they find your movie reviews, buddy?
CBO041 on Letterboxd. Everybody go see F1. Movie of the year. Calling it now.